So, of all of the hundreds of Lyft and Uber rides I've given, the one that stands out to me the most happened yesterday. So, I picked up an elderly man from a Walmart. He had a respirator and some bags in a box. And we put the bags in the box in the back, and he sat in the front next to me. Um, and right away, like, I could tell that I could sort of like have a real conversation with him, if you know what I mean. Um, and so I shared with him a little bit about myself, and then I just gave him the question. So, tell me about yourself. And this is what ensued. So, um, I'm going to tell the story as if I am that man and as if it happened to me, um, to make it easier so that I don't have to like describe something from like a removed point of view and like add in all those pronouns and all that. So, anyway, just pretend that this story didn't happen to me, but I'm recounting it as if it did. So, I went to a bar when I was a young man, and I met a woman, and and she told me that she can't sleep in her house because it's haunted. It's built on an Indian burial ground. So she dared me to spend the night in his house, and so I accepted the dare. And I went there, and the house was breathing, so I had to leave. And this woman had two daughters, and two very young children. The genders don't matter, and she was not treating them very well, and she didn't really like her children, and I could see that. And I loved her children, and I tried to get her to love them and to treat them well. And at first, one of the children wouldn't speak to me, but I kept being nice to him and trying to talk to him. One day, he came and told me two things. He told me that his Spurvin had said it was okay for him to talk to me, and that the Spurvin said that if his mom did not start being nice to him, then the Spurvin would kill his mom. I didn't know what a Spurvin was. And so after a while, I just lost hope in the situation. I had tried my best to try to change the mother, but it wasn't happening. So I knew I had to get myself out of there. So I went back to my house the first time in a long time. And that night, what I can only describe as the Spurvin appeared to me in my room and told me that I needed to go back to the house of this mother and these two young children. And it was raining, but I put my clothes on and I started to make my way. But it was pretty far and it started raining harder, so I started to lose fortitude, and I started to return. And then a big black dog started barking, and it came over and it nudged me in the direction of that house and repeatedly nudged me that way. So I eventually got to the house, and I opened the door and I walked in, and there was this young 5-year-old boy eating black beauties and laying on the rug, and I picked him up, and his heart was beating like a hummingbird. So I ordered an ambulance, and I left before it got there, and that's the last I know of that. And I never saw them again. Woo! Okay, switching back to the standpoint of me as me. So I take him. I get to his nursing home, and he asks me if I can help him bring the box in. He has the bags, and I say yes, of course. And I park the car and go with him all the way to his room down these long hallways, and he gives me a $20 bill, tip, and I thank him for his story and his generosity, and I'm on my way. So yeah, that's my favorite Uber/Lyft ride that I've ever done so far.